Alrighty, we'll call the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen to order. It's 5 o'clock. All members are present and we start with the Pledge of Allegiance. And what I thought we would do, Ariana, is maybe ask you to lead us in the pledge. Should we just start off by saying I pledge allegiance and then we'll join you?
Okay.
Okay?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Very good. Here. All right, so it looks like we have one guest online, Jessica. Obviously, if you're online and you'd like to comment, please raise your hand. Is there anybody here in the audience? I know we have 4 people that would like to comment on anything. Erica, you're good? Yep, okay. And we'll move on unless the Jessica online has anything she would like to add. Right? Jane, Jane Wisłowski, why don't you lead off with comments from the selectmen?
Well, thanks, Carl. Just want to follow up on a couple of things that a couple of our residents approached me about. It would be nice maybe if maybe the board of selectmen could go look at some of the seawalls over in Cornfield Point that seem to be having an issue. I don't know if that's a way that we could look at, or maybe it's the DPW. I don't know who's kind of starts with that, just to have a look. There's one at the end of East Street and one at the end of Billow.
Yeah.
That maybe we could take a look at.
Yeah. So I want to let you finish on that topic and I'll.
Yeah, that's it.
So we have the seawalls inspected every year by Jacobson's office. And when Carolyn Lyle on East Lane contacted me about that seawall, I sent it up to Jacobson's office to get me their latest inspection report, which I see once a year. I just didn't have it handy.
Mhm.
And there is some repairs. It's not nearly as bad as according to Jacobson's office. But I am going to have someone look at that.
Okay.
In fact, I may actually have a company that just did the seawall. I just met with them on a different, maybe little project. And maybe they can come out and just do some more.
That'd be great.
It's not a lot of work though.
Mhm.
And the email was definitely a little bit, now the seawall, I know, the stairs at Billow Road, I wasn't aware of the seawall. At Billow.
Yeah, and I can't tell just by looking at a map because I'm not familiar with it.
Yeah.
If it's truly Billow or if it's that little curve at the end of Billow that goes, if that's the seawall, couldn't really tell. So, but if they could just, I mean, all of them should really kind of be looked at. If there's any concerns. But, the earlier you address it, the better off.
Yeah. Is the one on Billow, is that, is there a beach right there, Cornfield Beach, Cornfield Point Association Beach? No.
I don't think so. I don't think that, it didn't look like this. Like if you're looking at the top, where Cornfield Point is, it's more east of Cornfield Point than west. And the beach is out west.
After Tropical Storm Sandy and the damage that was done, we repaired with FEMA dollars, I think all the seawalls on Sea Lane at the road ends, like east, Cottage, all those, Belair. We've never looked at or inspected any other seawalls other than those, because those were in dire condition after Tropical Storm Sandy. So if there are additional issues down there, number one, determine ownership. Make sure it's actually the town's responsibility, number one. And number two, if it is, obviously have it inspected and see what repairs need to be done. But I just need East Lane, I'm gonna have looked at. The other one, someone's gonna have to.
It's exactly
Why
where it
would the
is.
president of Cornfield Point, I'm surprised
Huh?
Gary Forbes hasn't reached out to me. You
And
reached
I
out
never
to
reached out to him.
him. So I'm happy to have it looked at. I just need to know.
Okay. Okay, and then the other thing I wanted to mention is something that came up after Board of Selectmen meeting not too long ago. But the town uses these SGARs, which is second generation anticoagulant rodenticides. And that's basically a poison and it is, those were for infestations, not just kind of keeping control, you know, especially when you think of this building. You know, yeah, people bring their lunch and heat it up in the microwave, but we're not preparing food. We don't necessarily need this kind of level of rodenticide to, you know, to keep mice at bay. It might be, what I'd like to look at is how much are we spending on this, and could we look at switching over to
We are.
more of a, oh, you're already looking at, it. Okay, good.
In fact.
Good.
I told Georgiana to put in an order for that birth control stuff,
Oh, good, okay,
the mice and the rat one.
okay, for just here,
No,
okay,
definitely for town hall,
Yeah.
but for the transfer station, I said to Bill, it might be a combination of both for a little while to see how the birth control works.
Mhm.
That's what it's called, birth control,
Yeah.
right?
concepticide, conception. something.
Yeah.
Is it contraception?
So let me check on that and where we are on that, but I agree with you in town hall. I don't
Great,
think.
oh, that's
definitely not.
fantastic, yeah,
And I passed the information on to Georgiana and said, let's order this and let's get going with it.
Mhm.
Curious to see how it works myself.
Yeah, and I'd like to see what we're doing at the schools, at, you know, any town building,
Yeah,
You know,
the
let's
schools,
see what we're doing.
I mean, obviously the schools, you have access to that information.
Okay, but yeah, contraceptol is
Oh, great.
the other product. Great, all right, that's wonderful to hear. Thanks, Carl.
I agree with you on that. Scott, anything?
I no prepared on it.
So, the good news is, the farm table got cleaned up over there, that property, and it's being renovated, it looks
Yeah,
like, for a new restaurant.
Right after you mentioned it, I noticed, and then I saw it the other day, it looked great.
Secondly, the Meineke property at the end of Lind and Route One just, changed hands today. So that
Oh.
that property's been abandoned, it looks like really bad. So that property's gonna get cleaned up too, and probably renovated, maybe even knocked down and rebuilt. I thought the convocation on Monday morning was very good, thought it
Yeah,
was a good reset.
Sure, yeah.
In many ways, I thought, Commissioner Secretary was very good in his comments.
Yeah.
Um,
Miguel Cordova.
what's that?
Miguel Cordova.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
know,
it was exciting to have somebody
right,
at your caliber in our
yeah. really
district.
good. Last Friday, I attended the Vista graduation that I go to almost every year. And that's always a really nice event. I just attended a wake before this and I don't know that you either of you would know him, Marcos Gonzalez, who
Yeah.
worked for RiverCog. Were you familiar with this?
I didn't know
Yeah,
he worked for RiverCon.
he worked for RiverCog and I worked with them on a couple projects. I mean, 35 years old, you know, a kid going into first grade, I think, kindergarten or first grade. And the wake was at 4 o'clock, so I ran there for that. But keep Marcos and his family in thoughts. The RiverCog is going to pay for the Cobra insurance for the family
Okay.
for as long as they're able to legally. And the executive board, which I'm on, basically is having a special meeting tomorrow morning to vote on that. But anyway, keep the Gonzalez family in their thoughts. This morning, we had Sarah Sanders, Leanne and I had a very good meeting, on the model that we might be looking at for bonding. We in terms of how we're going to keep the cost at a somewhat steady level over as we, assuming these two items pass on the 29th, and assuming that there is future bonding that we will do. And we had a very good conversation at some point, maybe after the September 29th, so we can see what we're doing and make sure those items pass. We'll have Sarah in here to talk about that. Just the debt service model moving forward, okay? That's all I have for now. I know we just had a meeting last week. So, anything else on comments, response? Okay. All right, approval of the minutes of the special meeting from August 19th. I'll make a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion, comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Business before the board. First item, so. In retrospect, I think we would handle this maybe a little differently next year, but, after assuming all these items pass tonight at 6 o'clock, that will leave $1,470,841 from the fiscal 26 surplus to be put into the capital non-recurring fund. So that has to go to a town meeting because you're taking surplus funds and putting it into an account. In addition to that, and the reason we need another town meeting is because the Board of Ed turned over a surplus of $99,594, which is essentially the special ed money that was given or returned or given as a grant to the Board of Ed from the state of Connecticut. My recommendation to the Board of Finance was to return that money to the Board of Ed. Certainly, we don't want the 100,000 in our account. We don't need it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Did the money come from the state to the Board of Ed? Or
It
did it
does.
come from the state to the?
No.
Or to the town?
ECS, Educational Cost Sharing Funds, come to the town.
Oh, but
Special education money goes to the Board of Ed,
okay,
and it's a revenue to them. And they're not allowed to have surpluses or deficits, as you know, really. And this is the surplus money of the Board of Ed, which they then say to the town, hey, this is our surplus. They're required to turn it over to the town. In the past, we've mostly taken Board of Ed surpluses and returned them back. I'm not saying that this is necessarily a pattern. I'm just saying the town had a healthy surplus. We don't need 99,000. Let's put it into the Board of Ed sinking fund. That is controlled by the Board of Finance, mostly, or Board of Finance has oversight.
yeah, I wasn't at that Board of Finance meeting.
So, I'm looking at the calendar, I'm like, I don't wanna confuse people, because we have a September 9th town meeting, which adjourns to referendum, and then we have September 29th. So really, the choices were to kind of do it before September 9th, 8 days before September 9th, and that's not a voting meeting, that's an informational meeting. I didn't want to do it between September 9th and September 29th, because I think that might be confusing. And we want to close the books on the fiscal year. So I said, you know what, we'll do it. You guys don't have to be here. It'll be very quick, and it'll be before the Board of Finance meeting next Tuesday. So the Board of Finance will meet at 6:30. I'll be here for that, obviously, and I figured we'd do this on September 1 at 6 before the Board of Finance meeting. So that is let me put this on the make a motion, put it on the table. So I'll make the motion to move the call of the special town meeting. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions on that? Basically, like I said, closing the books on the fiscal year. All right, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Moving on. signing this. So I get in trouble when I have that, I forget to have it signed. Thank you. Hold on one second. All right, thank you. We have to disband the ball field, if you can believe it, Triple T committee. Make a motion to do that.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
That is, basically, we try not to have all these committees that linger out there forever. And then, item number C under business before the board is presentation by, come on up, by Ms. President Ariana Metropolitan.
I just don't.
How are you? And please keep your voice up. I
Oh,
want you to
okay.
project,
Oh, that's
okay?
Sounds good already.
Should I stand or sit?
Whatever's more comfortable for you.
So, hi, my name is Ariana and, I'm a part of the Miss President organization and my campaign topic that I chose was mental health and middle school students. I chose this topic because I thought it was a really important topic and because it's common for middle school students to experience mental health issues like anxiety, depression, or sadness, or other things. And I also think this is important specifically to our school because there's a very small number of students, which may cause loneliness because class size also can cause conflicts since students don't get to interact with many new people and are stuck with the same kids all day. And also school can just be stressful in general. So to help with some of these problems, I came up with a solution for my campaign and I talked to the librarian and came up with a idea for this calm down station at the library. So I donated items like calming squishies and journals and I made a list of of different things to help improve mental health that students can do. And these items will be put hopefully on a table for the students to use in the library for next year. Yeah. Do you guys have any suggestions for other things I can do for my project to help improve mental?
Why don't you, I know the election was when?
It was
June?
May,
No, May?
April, May? Yeah, April.
Okay, and when, so you won,
Yeah.
and you won the election, way to go, and then what? Like, what have you done between then and now? Like, how have you implemented your program?
Well, I talked to the librarian and and then we came up with this idea and I was donating items to help so students can use them throughout the day if they're feeling stressed or
And how do you get the word out to the students?
hopefully, I haven't
That
really,
it's there, those tools are there.
yeah, I think, I haven't really done much about that yet, but maybe I can like, maybe post, there's a morning news in the morning for
Yeah.
the middle school, so maybe I can do something to try and get it on there, so all the students can see in the morning, so that they're aware about it.
Yeah, because as the Board of Selectmen, when we do things, we want to raise awareness. We generally want people to know things. And that's a hard thing to do. It's hard. It's hard to, number one, raise awareness, and it's hard to get people to use.
Yeah.
Now, has anybody done that? Do you know if anybody's come in and gone to your comment station?
I finished it close to the end of the school year, so it was mostly to be set up for next year, and I think the librarian's also gonna help spread the awareness, but.
Great idea.
What are some examples of things you would have there in your calming down station?
Journals, a list of things to improve mental health, like fidgets, stuff like that.
That sounds great. You know, maybe some of the Facebook,
Yeah.
pages that we have, like say, Saybrook, could do, you know, maybe you could take a picture of some of the station with some of the things and ask ask Jennifer Donahue, maybe put it on that, maybe
And
there's
puts out
the school's
The
got
beacon,
it,
right?
Yeah, there is a school.
the Rambler.
Yeah,
Well, that's
but
the,
in
well,
the quarterly events.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I think, you know, some pictures might be,
Yeah,
Might be
I think
fun
I
to
did
share.
take a
We have
picture.
a
Yeah, we took a picture.
yeah.
We didn't actually,
You should have printed, I didn't think of that,
Yeah.
got it.
Well, I'll go to the library, I'm gonna check it out.
So
I'm curious.
one other thing, you can do is if you wanna write up a little blurb about you and, you know, how you applied for this program. First of all, I know they're trying to raise awareness of the program in general. They want young ladies to be part of this program.
Mhm.
But then if you say, hey, you know, I participated in this election, this was my idea. My idea was received very well, and now I'm this president. These are the things I'm doing. We could maybe put that in the quarterly events. You know, the magazine, your mom, I'm sure knows it, that comes out every quarter. And I'm sure that, I know they would publish it. I know they would. So it could be like from the desk of this president, you know, it could be something like that.
That's cute, that's cute.
Yeah, and I'm sure we can get it in, I know that, I mean, so but I'm gonna put that on you. To get me an article about it, okay, and maybe tell them your journey. And then what you've done, and then we'll see, I don't see, you know, they take all our copy pretty
Yeah.
much.
Oh, sure, I mean, this is something that they're, you know, it's a great story.
And that'll be winter, I don't know when that goes out exactly, but. All right,
Maybe beginning of October, didn't one come out in
well,
July?
that's when that one's already at press.
Oh, right, I got it.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
believe me, I
Yeah.
write these articles like 2 months in advance,
Yeah.
so. Yeah. All right, do you have any questions for us, or?
do you have any suggestions of other things I could do with this, like a solution? Solutions for this?
You're way more in tune with it than we are.
I would share it with both the schools, you know, Goodwin
Oh,
and high school, I think there's overlap there. And, you know, maybe it could go out in the communication from, that goes to the parents so that they know about it, I think you might need to set up a station.
Okay,
Right, what part of the library is it in?
this is in the middle school library and I'm actually not
Oh,
sure.
wait, it's at the middle school?
Yeah, it's not, it's just
I was thinking
specific for
Acton.
like the
Okay.
middle school.
Sorry, I was thinking Acton, I
Mhm.
apologize, I probably missed that.
Right.
So actually, that makes more sense, it's more accessible to people at the. at
Yeah,
the middle
cause
school.
people go to the library.
Yeah, but maybe promoting it, maybe Goodwin in the high school might learn something. You
Okay.
know, if it's popular and people feel like it's helping them, it'd be great for the other schools.
Yeah, promoted it maybe in what, third or fourth grade, like get it over to the principal over there. But say, when you go to middle school, we have this waiting for you, you need it. It's an idea. Great, I mean, Erica?
I gotta skip, thing, you know, those, what they call poppers? They're, you just pop them back and forth. Yeah, you know what, yeah, like the pop, yeah.
Oh,
they're called
yeah,
poppers.
yeah.
I think you put some
I-
names. Okay, is
I
that,
might
yeah.
have.
They're like spinners pop, yeah.
Yeah.
Good job.
That's it,
Thank you,
yeah, I mean, great, congratulations.
thank
I
you.
think that's awesome.
Well done.
All right, well, so we'll move pretty quickly through this, Board of Ed. Vacancy appointment from Jack.
Cordella.
Cordello. This is an elected position. It'll come up for election a year from now, about November of 27. Because if, I don't know if that was a 4-year term that he.
Yeah, it's a 4-year
So
term.
and I know it's a 4-year term is
His
this,
was gonna end.
it was going to end in November of
November
27.
27.
Okay.
Mhm.
So this is an appointment basically for a year. My position typically has been with elected positions that the town committee spend money on. when there's a resignation that we should, you can go, Scott, don't worry about it. We should respect the election and, the party, so I've typically done that, we have typically done that over the last 15 years. Not so much with necessarily appointed boards, there's a little more leeway there. Or alternates sometimes on elected boards, but anyway, so we have a nomination to the Board of Education.
Yes, so Terry Bruce is the selected candidate from the Democratic Council.
I'll second that.
Mhm.
Terry's here, I don't know, since you're here, we rarely have candidates here when we do that. I don't know if you want to introduce yourself, or if not, that's okay too.
I moved here to Old Saybrook 4 years ago. And I have, approximately 35 years of, service as an educator in Connecticut. I started as a special education teacher, became a director of student services and special education. Did that for a number of years and then retired after serving 13 years as a middle school principal. I'm currently working part-time in my retirement as an advocate for students who receive special education services and are in the custody of Department of Children and Families. I have always followed educational issues, and when this vacancy opened up, it just seemed like a natural fit for me to pursue it, to advocate for our students and serve our town.
All right, so moved and seconded, any further discussion? Hearing none, yep, okay,
I'm all set, no, I heard, man.
all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And planning commission, I'll put it on the table, this is, I'll move Hallie to Proto, first of all, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Scott. This is an alternate position, and I think it was Megan from the COG also that resigned here. And I didn't know Hallie, but she expressed interest in the Conservation Commission. Chris saw her resume and said, maybe she might be good for as an alternate on planning. She met Chris, she went to a planning commission meeting. She's younger, she's like 25, apparently a lot younger than us. I'll just say that, which is good. We want to encourage that. We want to encourage younger people to be involved in this town. And Chris loved her. Chris thought she'd be a good fit on planning. I talked to Deb about it yesterday briefly. So, and she is very excited. I told her we were going to nominate her and she was very excited about it. So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And I'll move to adjourn. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and it is 5:28.